Hello dear student. In part 4, Unit 5 Surface Chemistry, we will cover following contents: methods of preparation of colloids by chemical methods, purification of colloids, and properties of colloidal solution, then emulsion, and types of emulsion. We will discuss methods of preparation of colloids by chemical methods. First method is Braddock's method. In this method, an electric arc is struck between two metallic electrodes immersed in dispersion medium. Like this, these are two electrodes immersed in dispersion medium, and when we apply electricity, the arc produced vaporize the metal, which on further condensation produce particle of the colloidal size. So for condensation process, vaporized particle convert in colloidal size, beaker keep inside the ice bath, and this colloidal size particle dissolve in dispersion medium and make a colloidal solution. Next chemical method is peptidization. It is the process of converting precipitate into colloidal sol by shaking it with dispersion medium in the presence of small amount of electrolyte. So it is just opposite process of coagulation and make a colloidal solution. And the electrolyte used for this purpose is called peptidizing agent. So colloidal solution we can also prepare by the chemical reactions leading the formation of molecule, and this molecule aggregate leading to formation of sols. See the example, we can understand by this following examples. Arsenic oxide, when react with 3 mole of hydrogen sulfide, it form arsenic sulfide sol and 3 mole of water molecule and make a colloidal solution. And next reaction, sulfur dioxide react with 2 mole of hydrogen sulfide and form 3 mole of sulfur as a colloidal particle and 2 mole of water molecule and mix together and form as a product colloidal solution. Next reaction, in this reaction 2 mole of aurum chloride react with 3 mole of formaldehyde and react with 3 mole of water molecule and form 2 mole of aurum as a colloidal particle and 3 mole of formic acid and 6 mole of hydrochloride and make a colloidal solution. In next reaction, ferric chloride react with 3 mole of water molecule and form ferric hydroxide as a sol particle and 3 mole of hydrogen chloride and make a colloidal solution. Next topic is purification of colloids. First method is dialysis. It is a process of removing a dissolved substance, it means impurity, from a colloidal solution by means of diffusion through a suitable membrane. This membrane is made up of by the parchment paper or cellophane membrane. So a bag made of such a membrane like this and keep inside the colloidal solution and suspended in the fresh water. Then impurities can pass through this membrane and only colloidal particles leaving behind in this bag. So in this process we can purify the colloidal solution, but this process is quite slow, so modify this process by the applying electricity. Next process is electrodialysis. The process of dialysis is quite slow. It can be made faster by applying electric field. If the dissolved substance in the impure colloid solution is only electrolyte. If impurity is electrolyte, that that this method is work on dialysis. So same arrangement, only the electric field apply in water body, and then process of pass the impurity from this membrane is faster, and we can purify the colloidal solution by this electrodialysis process. Next purification method is ultrafiltration. It is the process of removing impurities from colloidal solution by passing through gradiated filter paper, are called ultrafilter paper. This filter paper are made up of from ordinary filter paper. See in this picture, ordinary filter paper has large pore and it can pass the also the colloidal particles. So when the ordinary filter paper gradiated and ordinary filter paper impregnate with the colloidal solution, as a result pores reduce and it can pass only the molecules and ions of dissolved impurity. So as a result the size of pores get reduced, and this filter paper allow to ions and molecules of impurity and retain colloidal particles. So we can get obtained after this process pure colloidal solution. And here pressure is also. Next purification method is ultracentrifugation. In this process, colloidal solution is taken in test tube and which is placed in ultracentrifugation equipment, like this is the ultracentrifugation equipment and this is the test tube. On rotating the tube at very high speed, the colloidal particles settle down as a higher density colloidal particles settle down at the bottom of the tube and the impurities remain in solution. The settled down particles are mixed with dispersion medium to generate colloidal solution, and we can obtain the pure colloidal solution. So by this process we can obtain the pure colloidal solution. Properties of colloidal solutions. First is heterogeneous. Nature of colloidal solution are heterogeneous nature, consisting of dispersed phase and dispersed medium. So when dispersed phase dissolve in dispersion medium make a heterogeneous system. Next property is visibility. The colloidal are not visible to naked eye, and this can be seen with the help of ultra microscope. So the particle size is very small, between 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. Next property is Tyndall effect. The scattering of beam of light by colloidal solution is called Tyndall effect, and the bright cone, it means a visible path of light is make, and this light is called Tyndall effect. So when see this picture, in this picture when the beam of light pass through a colloidal solution make a visible path, because the particle of colloidal solution scatter the light and make a visible path, and this visible path is called Tyndall effect. Next property is color. The color of colloidal solution depend upon the wavelength of light scattered by colloidal particles, which in turn depends upon nature and size of particles. The color also depends upon the manner which light is received by observer. For example, mixture of milk and water appear blue color when viewed at reflected light, and red when viewed by transmitted light. Next example, finest gold sol, fine particle of gold, is red in color. As size of particle increases, it appears purple, then blue, and finally golden in color. So our blue color of sky is also depend on this phenomena. Dust particle along with water suspended scatter blue light due to which sky looks blue to us. Next property is Brownian movement. Colloidal particles move in zigzag path. This type of motion is due to colloidal molecule of dispersion medium continuously with colloid particles. So, colloidal particles randomly move in zigzag manner, and this type of motion is called Brownian movement. Next property is electrical property of colloidal solution. So charge on colloidal particle. Colloidal particle always carry an electric charge. The nature of this charge is same on all particle in a given colloidal solution. It may be either positive or negative. So see the difference between the positively and negatively charged colloidal particle. In positive charged colloidal particle, this include hydrated metallic oxide such as ferric oxide dot water molecule, chromium oxide dot water molecule, aluminum oxide dot water molecule. But in negatively charged colloidal particle, metallic sulfides like sulfur, arsenic sulfide, antimony sulfide, and positively charged particles are basically basic dye stuff like malachite, green, and methylene blue soles. Then negatively charged colloidal particle acid dye stuff like eosin, methyl orange, and Congo red soles. And for example of positively charged colloidal is hemoglobin, and negatively charged colloidal particle example is starch, sole, gum, gelatin, clay, charcoal, egg albumin, etc. Next, the combination of two layers of opposite charges around the colloidal particle is called Helmholtz electrical double layer. See in this picture, the first positive layer around the colloidal particles and which is fixed. So it is called fixed layer, and the second layer is negatively charged as mobile. So it is called diffuse layer. By this arrangement of two opposite charge create the potential differences, and by this potential differences electrokinetic potential or zeta potential phenomena is occur. So we can define as this phenomena the potential differences between fixed layer and diffuse layer of opposite charges is called electrokinetic potential or zeta potential. So between two opposite charge, first is positive charge and second mobile charge, potential difference between two layers is called zeta potential. Next electrical property is electrophoresis. So the movement of colloidal particles under an applied electrical potential is called electrophoresis. See in this picture. In this picture, U-shaped tube fixed at one end anode and second end at cathode, and fill the colloidal solution. And when apply the electric field, the colloidal particles move towards cathode and accumulate near the negative electrode. Cathode is an negative electrode. So if the particles accumulate near the negative electrode, the charge on particle is positive. On other hand, if the sole particles accumulate near the positive electrode, the charge on particle is negative. So we can say that the positively charged particles move towards cathode, while negatively charged particles move towards anode. Next property is coagulation or precipitation. So, the process of settling of colloidal particle as a precipitate is called coagulation. It is just opposite of baptization process. Next, protection of colloids. So, lyophilic sols are more stable than lyophobic sols. This is due to fact that the lyophilic colloids are extensively solvated. That is, colloidal particles are covered by a sheath of liquid in which they are dispersed. So, because of lyophilic sols stable, lyophilic colloid have a unique property to protect lyophobic colloids. When lyophilic sol is added to lyophobic sol, the lyophilic particles form a layer around the lyophobic particles and thus protect the latter from electrolytes. So when added the lyophilic colloids, it form a layer protecting sheath, and lyophobic cannot react with the electrolytes. So therefore, lyophilic colloids used for this purpose and are called protective colloids. Next is Hardy-Sulz's rule. Ions carrying charge opposite to the colloidal particles has capacity to coagulate, and the greater the valency of ion, greater will be the coagulation power. For example, coagulation of negative sols. So the fluctuation power of is in the order is aluminium 3 positive. So aluminium 3 positive having greater power for coagulation, and then after that barium 2 positive have as compared to aluminium less for coagulation power. Then after that sodium ion have less coagulation power as compared to two others. Next is gold number. So gold number is the minimum amount of lyophilic colloids in milligram which can prevent the coagulation. For example, coagulation of 10 ml of gold sol against 1 ml of 10% NaCl solution. So it may be noted that smaller the value of gold number, greater will be the protecting power of the protective colloid. Our next topic is emulsion. It is a type of colloidal system. So we can define as the emulsion. An emulsion is a colloidal system in which both dispersed phase and dispersion medium are liquids. So there are two types. First is when emulsion in which oil is dispersed phase and water is dispersion medium. The type of emulsion is called oil in water. In short, O/W. For example, milk is an emulsion of liquid fat in water. See in this example, oil and fat droplets disperse in water, dispersion medium. Next type is emulsion is when the emulsion in which water is dispersed phase and oil is dispersion medium. For example, cod liver oil is an emulsion of water in oil. For any type of oil, when dispersed in water, make this type of emulsion. So that type of emulsion is called water in oil, and in short form W/O. So because of emulsion are unstable, For stabilizing, use the emulsifiers and emulsifying agent. So the emulsion are generally prepared by shaking strongly the mixture of two colloids. These emulsions are generally unstable, so that is why the substance thus added to stabilize the emulsion are called emulsifier or emulsifying agent. The emulsifying agent used albumin, casein, egg yolk, glycerol monostearate, proteins, gums. Natural and synthetic soaps are used as a emulsifying agent. Then next topic is de-emulsification. So the process of separation of constituent liquids of an emulsion is called de-emulsification. It means when the separate the constituent dispersion phase and dispersion medium. So that process is known as de-emulsification. They can be prepared into their constituent particles by boiling, freezing, centrifugation, and by adding large amount of electrolyte, etc. It can be separated by both dispersion from the dispersion medium, and we can obtain the pure form of constituent particles.